Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suhey with Suhey Plans, and today I'm talking a little bit about why these planners didn't work out for me. I recently posted a mid-year planner and journal update, and I shared what I left, what was new, what I'm swapping out, and what I'm continuing with for the second half of the year. And someone asked a question in the comments as to why these planners didn't work. And I didn't have a lot of time to go over that in that mid-year recap, but I wanted to do a separate video where I talked about why the planners that I'm completely leaving behind didn't work. I'm separating these planners into kind of three general categories, and then I'll go through each of them. This category is really, really loved, but needed more flexibility. This pile is layout didn't work. And then this pile is I didn't have a good purpose to begin with. Okay, let me kind of start with that pile then, right? All right, so the Midori B6 Slim and the Paper Test Designs B6 were two books that I picked up without a specific purpose in mind. And I really just wanted to explore the sizes and the dimensions. I wanted to explore the Paper Test Designs. I'd never purchased anything from her shop before. This was my first Midori planner. I just wanted to experiment and explore, and I was hoping that as I stumbled my way through 2024 that I would find a purpose for them, but I didn't. And that's not for a lack of trying. I tried my personal planning in here, tried it for notes, tried it for social media. I really did give it a try for different purposes and functions, but nothing quite stuck. And that's okay. But I think I've learned from my mistakes. I won't purchase a planner before I have a really concrete function or purpose for it. I think it's overly wishful thinking that I thought I'd figure something out, but that really didn't happen. But if nothing else, I learned that B6 is just too square of a size for the way my brain works, and I'm much more gravitated to a vertical orientation. And I think the same with the B6. I didn't really have a function for it. I started using it as like a thought a day, and that wore off really quickly. I didn't want to keep up with that anymore. So I was just kind of throwing functions and purposes at these planners, but nothing quite stuck. And so they weren't quite officially in my rotation anyway, but now I know that they're completely out. And again, if nothing else, I know what B6 feels like to plan in, and I know how B6 Slim feels as well. So if nothing else, I've gained that kind of insight on the size. The next pile is, I think this is like layout didn't quite work. Yes, give or take. So I started in the B6 Sterling Ink 2024 planner in the horizontal orientation. I'm sorry, in the vertical, because I thought this might be good for social media. But I realized that I really like the having the weeks consecutively followed by blank grid was not a good order for the function that I had initially assigned to this planner. So this layout, while it could work well for a lot of other things, the purpose that I had assigned it to was a mismatch. I did even like meal planning at one point in here, but nothing quite stuck. And again, I think this was just like a fail. This was a planner fail. I thought that the purpose and the layout would mesh well, and they didn't. And I ended up selling book 2 because this is like the two-part book, the two-part planner in the B6. In here, I also have the Sterling Ink booklets. For the Sterling Ink booklets, I purchased them before Sterling Ink announced the common planner coming out in standard size. Had I known this was going to be a thing, I wouldn't have purchased these booklets. there's just, you know, like I was trying to achieve through these booklets what I was able to achieve with this one book, right? So it didn't make sense to stay in the booklets. But, you know, just to kind of give things a fair try, I tried to plan in the booklets, I think I did some work planning in here. And I tried to give it an honest shot, but it just didn't stick. And I stayed in it in a couple of weeks, and that's it. And, you know, I think maybe for another purpose this will be great, but it didn't quite work out. And I don't even know if these two books should go in the same category. I kind of bought this because I didn't realize that what I really wanted was going to shortly exist. So I don't know. How would you categorize that? Like, let me know in the comments. I have no idea. Okay, so then I guess let's move on to planners that worked, but were missing something. So I was really gung-ho about the Sterling Ink Common Planner in the N1 size, which is the standard size. I set this up, I planned in it religiously, like this was in high use. I was very, very much enjoying this planner 100%. I thought it functioned really well for the way I think. But what started to happen is that I started getting close to running out of daily pages. And that kind of annoyed me. I didn't want the bulk of the full size. I loved the compact size, but then I didn't have the daily pages. And I was the fool when I picked this up to think that I would skip a day or that I would be fine just adding a blank booklet. But I wasn't. I just wasn't. And as I started running out of daily pages, I kind of freaked out and I realized that I needed to pivot, which is really a shame because I was really enjoying working in this planner. I think that if I could have the common planner in the standard size in a 2-book set, in the way the B6 comes in a 2-book set, that could be a real game changer for me, because I want all of those daily pages without the bulk. So that's why this one was really great, but it didn't quite work out. Then, so what's so funny is that I went from, so I think I mentioned in my last video, but right now I'm using personal rings. So, but before the common planner to personal rings, there was an intermediary, and I actually forgot to mention this in my last video, y'all. There's just so many planners. Oh my God. My apologies. But in the between those two, there was the Nolte A5 in the in like the open weekly grid layout. And this planner worked really well for me for a while as well. I think when things got really busy, this was working like a dream. It was quick and easy, low fuss, not a lot of, like, I didn't have to do a daily layout all the time. So from the months of March to May, I mean, end of April, really, this was working really well. But then things eased up, my schedule lightened up, things got a little bit easier and more manageable at work, and I missed my daily page. I missed my more thorough ability to plan on a daily basis. So I left this, and then now I'm in my personal rings. So these two things were working really well, but something changed. I had a realization and I needed to pivot. I would come back to the N1 if it comes in a 2-book set with enough dailies, you know, like a part 1 and a part 2 for the year. And I definitely can see myself jumping back into this later on in the year. It goes into 2025 actually. If I just need to do less, carry less, plan a little bit less, I'll definitely keep this book around. And those are the reasons why I left all of these planners in 2024. I think the lessons that I learned are, don't pick up a planner without an exact purpose. Yes, I like planners and planning is fun. Um, but I don't know if that will, I think now that I've tried these things, I don't know if that'll be like a reason that I'll have in the future. I think that if I don't have a specific purpose or function, that we're not going to be moving forward with purchasing a planner. What's interesting is that, I think I picked up all of these at the beginning of the year, except for this one, right? And I picked this one up because I had a very specific and direct purpose and function that I needed at that time. And so it's no wonder that this one worked out so well. Again, if nothing else, I've learned a lot about my relationship with B6. I've learned a lot about paper. I've learned a lot about the dangers of pre-ordering, the dangers of buying a planner for the new year too early. I've learned a lot about what my priorities are. I knew that I love daily planning with no bulk, but this really, really tested that. And now I am very certain that I am a daily planner, but I can't have bulk. And that can be a really hard combination, y'all. So I've really learned a lot about my planning through these mistakes and through the things that didn't work. Mistakes make us better. Mistakes help us learn. So I don't regret any of these things. And I am planning to keep all of these in my stash to reference as my planning needs change. I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear about the changes that you've made or how you've pivoted, or why things just didn't work for you. Was there anything on this pile that you could resonate with? I'd love to know more in the comments. Thanks everybody for your time. I'm gonna hope to hop on here soon and share a flip of personal rings in the days to come. Thanks everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you in the next one.